Exactly what you mean. Yes, when the person is like, I live under all these rules, and you have to live under all these rules. And now the new rule in my life is I have to make sure that you live under all the rules that I have put over you. How many rules had the Pharisees and scribes? How many rules had they added and added and added and added? They'd taken the 10 and they'd multiplied it. And none of those were out of compassion. Jesus is like, oh, look, sacrifice comes out of compassion. But if it's a sacrifice or compassion, I want compassion. Because compassion is always going to bring about sacrifice. But sacrifice for sacrifice's sake brings out the opposite of compassion. It brings out hostility. It brings out, I can't believe God wanted me to let go of that. I can't believe that person made me. I can't believe. We serve a good God. Jesus, I want to be compassionate in this situation. Well, put that thing down and walk over and pick up that thing. But I really like that thing. Trust me. Put down that thing and walk over there, and for the sake of compassion, go pick up that other thing. And then a little while into it, you're going, man, I don't even miss that thing anymore because this thing is awesome. When you keep rules for the sake of keeping rules, I'm not going to go back on that. Matthew 9, 37 through 38. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into the harvest. And I was thinking, here am I, send me. I hope that that's your heart today too. Being compassionate means risking, right? Now, you have one door to your heart. That door, if you've been hurt by the church, or you've been hurt by somebody in the church, or you've been hurt by a family member, or you've been hurt in a love relationship, or you've been hurt by your children or whatever, the best thing you can do to keep from getting hurt is close that door, lock it, block it in, put boards over it. There's a problem. Nothing good can now get into your heart. So the only way good things can get into your heart is to go, okay, I'm going to let my heart be open. I'm going to have to trust. To be intimate means you're going to risk being hurt. But you also risk being filled with love, being able to receive some incredible stuff. Compassion is that thing. But Mike, what if that guy that is standing there with that sign and that sad look and everything like that? What if I feel compassionate for him and I roll the window down and I give him, a hamburger and a Coke? What if it's not real? Your compassion was real. That's what God cares about. Your compassion is real. That's what Jesus is trying to accomplish. If Jesus was just trying to accomplish feeding everybody who stands on the corner, he'd figure that out, okay? But his goal is to make me become a compassionate person. Now, Mike, so you're saying I should stop every day. Oh, no, don't give me a hard time. There's a person called the Holy Spirit. He's the one who you should ask these questions to. I'm not the Holy Spirit. I don't even want to try. But he lives in me. Holy Spirit, there's a coworker. There's something wrong there. What should I do? How should I approach it? He'll guide us. But it's our compassion that he's looking so forward to, having us have the compassion of Christ. So here's my challenge to you this week. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. I know, I can't believe it either. And so it's easy to begin to think about things that we're thankful for, and people we're thankful for, and possessions we're thankful for. And I want to say today, on behalf of Veterans Day, I am so thankful for all and any of you who served in the military or have family members who have or are currently serving in the military. The flag's up at my house, and I'm thankful for that. But my challenge to you this week, should you decide to accept it, I want you to pray with me every day, Jesus, give me more of your compassion. Would you take the spot in my heart that compassion is supposed to live, or maybe already does live, or lives but it's barely there, or it's kind of dusty, or it's actually been beat up a little bit? Jesus, would you refill, restore, renew, or place for the first time ever, would you put your passion, compassion, would you put that in my heart? Would you help me to begin to see everybody through the compassionate lenses of Jesus Christ? Now, I'm going to ask you to do that every day, Monday through Friday. Just see what happens. I'm not going to be here next Sunday anyway, so you know, if it doesn't work out well, I'm not going to hear about it. No, I'm just kidding. Let's just see what God does. Because I know as your pastor, and I confessed at the very beginning, I get way more concerned about survival than surrender. Compassion is one of those surrender things. I want to have compassion. Well, I want you to go out of your way from where you're going to meet this need. Yeah, but if I go out of my way to meet this need, well, Mike, which just be driven by compassion. Okay, I'll go where you want me to go, but God, I hope you know what you're doing. Have you ever asked God that? Yeah, and I'm sure every time I say that, he just chuckles. Man, well, you should do that. If you'll do that with me, then I'm going to pray a prayer of blessing over you. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. I'm still going to pray a blessing over you, but especially for those of you who will join with me. So God, I just thank you for Matthew. I thank you for his honesty. I thank you that he was blown away by Jesus' compassion in a world that he lived in. There wasn't a whole lot of compassion, but he saw Jesus compassionate in times, in good times, in bad times, in times of loss, in times of impending suffering. He saw the compassion of Christ over and over and over again. And he was there when Jesus said, guys, the harvest is ready. We just need workers. So Holy Spirit, I'm asking that you would help us to become ready for the harvest. Not just ready for the harvest, but actually active in the harvest. It's not like the harvest is going to be next week. The harvest is now. We are in the harvest time. This is the harvest time. But for me and for some people here, I'm too busy polishing the tractor to get out and do the harvest. Because my compassion isn't for the lost. I'm a little distracted about my survival. I want to surrender my survival to you and say, I trust you. To live as Christ, to die as gain. I pray, Father, that you would increase our level of compassion this week. Not because we're bad people, because you love us. And we know we have the righteousness of Christ. It's not about being better people. It's about being more like Jesus. And we know Jesus was compassionate. Would you help us this week to grow in our area of compassion? And God, if there's anybody here who they've been hurt before, they've been abused, they've been neglected, they've been cheated, they've been lied to, Holy Spirit, I pray that you would pour a balm over that you would heal those wounds, that you'd make those wounds where they no longer are tender, that any reflex of guardians and things like that we would have those walls that we would put up, that we would replace that with just wisdom and knowing where to go and who to go. The wisdom that comes from being in a relationship with the Holy Spirit and listening to him, understanding who he is. So God, I just pray that you would bless every person in this room. As we walk with you, that you would restore the joy of our salvation for those of us who need that you would meet every physical, financial, spiritual, emotional need for whoever that applies to. But then most of all, that we would begin to go, you know what, I can trust Jesus fully. I can trust God the Father fully. I can trust the Holy Spirit. And so I'm going to place my trust in you, and I'll go where you send me. I'll do what you ask me to do. And I look forward to seeing the return that you're going to make in my investment. So God, I just pray again that blessing, and I ask, Father, that you would heal our baby sister Camilla, God, and all those others who are in physical need. God, you are a healing God. We believe that. And we ask that you would manifest